thank you for watching. These are my thoughts on a very old Kent Hovind debate that I watched recently. So it was recent to me. It did look familiar. Maybe I'd seen it before. This was definitely before Kent Hovind went to prison. The professor he was debating against was a Dr. Rainbow from Antelope Valley Community College. And Dr. Rainbow in this debate was much more polite than some other people who debated against Kent Hovind. And so, thumbs up for the politeness from Dr. Rainbow. He said he wouldn't believe evolution if he had the incorrect understanding. And he commended people who reject evolution for rejecting a false understanding. That was a polite thing of him to say, although I think most creationists who reject evolutionism do so because they do know what it is, and not because they are disbelieving some gross caricature of it. Dr. Rainbow talked about how it could happen, and he had a diagram and a chart, and he was talking about a lobed-fin fish in a tidal pool or a marsh, and the tide would go in and out and pull the fish around, and the lobed fins would help it hold on. There's one little problem with his using that as an example of how something could evolve from fish into amphibians. We have lobed-fin fish in this world right now, and they don't live in swamps or tidal pools. They live in deep water. It's called a coelacanth. And it's been extinct for like 65 million years because fossils of it haven't been found in rocks that were younger than that. Yeah, he talked about atoms self-assembling into DNA. Atoms don't self-assemble into DNA. That's ridiculous. Now, DNA does take atoms and create more DNA and more cells, but the DNA in the cells were already there. We do not ever see a mass of chemicals. Oh, excuse me. We don't ever see a mass of chemicals without deoxyribonucleic acid already in them forming into life. But one thing that was very noteworthy, one thing Kent Hovind points out is the word evolution has a lot of different meanings or stages. You know, if somebody says, do you believe evolution? I believe evolution. You might need to pin them down on a definition. There's cosmic evolution, stars evolving and forming. What are the 6 stages? Cosmic. But one reason Kent says that is you need to get geologic evolution, cosmic, geologic, macro, micro. Okay, but the reason Kent Hovind says that is microevolution, which really shouldn't be called microevolution, is a scientific fact that virtually nobody is against, that the Bible agrees with. And so, you know, some evolutionists use the word evolution, talk about the thing that virtually nobody disagrees with, that the Bible doesn't disagree with. And then say, well, it's all the same thing. No, it isn't. But sometimes Kent Hovind's trolls and antagonists and detractors accuse him of making that up and lying about it. There was only evolution. There's not 6 stages of evolution, they say. Well, Dr. Rainbow used the words cosmic evolution. Kent Hovind got proved right on that one by his opponent in the debate using the words cosmic evolution. Dr. Rainbow gave us proof of the second law of thermodynamics being overcome. And the camera angle that was for this debate that I saw didn't show the slide that he showed when he was talking about this, but it sounded like he was describing the formation of ice. Ice crystals forming does not prove that you could get complex life randomly, or complex life just happening because of the laws of physics. There's a very big difference between crystallization, which means it's the same thing. It's the same molecules forming together to make a crystal. Crystals don't reproduce. Crystals don't walk, talk, eat. Crystals don't change other things. When you have a life, even a single cell bacteria, it changes the things around it. It eats something and changes it. Crystals don't do that. So, that was a bad example. One thing that Dr. Rainbow said near the end is, this is God. He was talking about evolution being God, or evolution being used by God. If I were there, I would have asked him, if God used evolution and you're saying this is God, then aren't you teaching religion if you teach that in a science classroom? And it hasn't been seen, observed, etc. by people. There's an open question to any of you who believe that God used evolution. Do you want that taught in science classrooms, in public schools? If you do, are you not having your religion taught in the science classroom? I don't want my religion taught in science classrooms. I don't think any of us should. Let's stick to science in science classrooms. Near the end of the debate, the question and answer session, Dr. Rainbow asked Kent Hovind, what should he teach if he doesn't teach evolution? And he said that, Dr. Rainbow said that about 85% of what he teaches is not evolution. And then he listed off some things, and I was thinking, wait, but you were talking about how you think those things evolved here in this debate. It's possible to talk about DNA and not talk about evolution, but the way he was talking about DNA in the debate makes me think that he works evolution into it, so that it's probably a lower number of times in this class that he doesn't talk about evolution. But Kent Hovind's reply to this one was to just teach science. You know, a science classroom would not run out of stuff to talk about unless we're talking about a doctorate level class. And even then, maybe not. If you talk about the actual science, the body parts, what they do, the biochemistry, the body parts of the animals, where the animals live, how the animals survive. You can talk about a lot of stuff and not talk about where they came from. And we don't need to talk about where they came from in a science classroom. Why? Especially since we don't have scientific proof. We don't have witnesses of the things forming to make it worthy to be called science. But Dr. Rainbow does deserve credit for coming out to this debate that I watched. One thing that Kent Hovind pointed out is he has a lot of professors that won't debate him. And he thinks that it's because the professors don't want to be challenged, they would be proven wrong. But they like being in their classrooms. One thing that the professors might not like about debating Kent Hovind is they can't give him a bad grade. So he can say that they're stupid or their idea is bad or disagree with them and have no negative consequences. You have to wonder if some of these professors would give a bad grade to a student who paid attention in class and learned what the professor's religious beliefs are and re-quotes them on the test just for not believing. You have to wonder if, you know, if there are some professors that would do that, because there are people in this world who have been fired, or people who've tried to get other people fired just because of what their religious beliefs were, and had nothing to do with the person's competency in science or whether the person was able to be a good doctor or anything like that. Thank you for watching. You have a good day.